Are you ready? I asked, my hands slightly trembling as I held Amara's hand. The morning sun spilled across the living room, and I couldn't stop grinning. Today was perfect. Today felt like forever. Ready as I'll ever be, she said, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Her smile was radiant, the one that made my chest ache in the best way possible. Don't look so nervous, silly, nervous, me. Never. I laughed, though my voice cracked a little. It's just. I can't believe it's finally happening. Amara squeezed my hand. I've been waiting for this day forever. She looked at me with those deep eyes that always seemed to know my every thought. I felt my heart flip, thinking no one could ever love me like she did. Raisin leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. You two better not start crying before the ceremony. I can't handle it, he teased, smirking. But there was something in his eyes, caution, concern. Like he knew storms were coming I refused to see. Raisin, I said, laughing nervously. Stop being dramatic. Everything's perfect. You say that now, he replied, shaking his head. Just enjoy it while it lasts, all right? I frowned but didn't argue. He was always cautious, always protective, sometimes too much. But I trusted him, more than anyone except Amara. Amara leaned closer, whispering, let's go. I don't want to be late. We stepped outside, the breeze brushing my face. I glanced at her and couldn't stop smiling. You look stunning, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. You're too sweet, she replied, laughing softly. Come on, let's make this the day we'll never forget. I squeezed her hand again, the warmth of it grounding me. I had imagined this moment 1,000 times, walking toward her, finally declaring to the world that she was mine. My stomach fluttered with anticipation. But then, she stopped. Wait, she said, her tone hesitant. My heart skipped a beat. I need to tell you something. What is it? I asked, trying to hide the sudden tightening in my chest. Her eyes darted away for a fraction of a second, then back to mine. I can't do this. My stomach dropped. Wait, what? I can't marry you, she said, the words hitting me like ice. I'm sorry. I've thought about it for a long time, and I just can't. No. This isn't funny, Amara, I said, panic rising in my throat. Are you joking? She shook her head slowly. I wish I were. I can't. And I'm sorry, but it's over. The world tilted. I felt Raisin step forward. Amara, what do you mean? He asked, voice low, but firm. She avoided his gaze. I just can't. It's not fair to either of you. I swallowed hard, trying to make sense of it. Not fair. We love each other. We planned this, our future, everything. I know, she whispered. But my feelings. They've changed. Raisin's jaw tightened. I could see the anger in his eyes, but he stayed silent. I wanted to scream, beg, anything. Changed? How? When? I don't understand. She turned away slightly, her voice trembling. I'm sorry. I thought I could, but I can't. I'm sorry. I felt like the air had been ripped out of my lungs. You're leaving. Just like that? She nodded, avoiding my eyes. I have to. I sank to the ground, my knees weak. No, this can't be happening. You can't just. Raisin crouched beside me. Hey, breathe. Don't let this break you. You'll get through it. I promise. I trusted her, I whispered, more to myself than to him. I trusted her with everything. And now, she's gone. She didn't deserve you, Raisin said quietly. Not if she could just walk away like that. I buried my face in my hands, the reality crashing down. The day that was supposed to be perfect, the day I thought would be the happiest of my life, had ended before it even began. I could hear Amara's footsteps fading away, leaving a hollow ache in the space where love had once been. I don't even know what to do now, I muttered, voice raw. Raisin put a hand on my shoulder. One step at a time, my friend. One step at a time. And just like that, my perfect life shattered, leaving me with nothing but heartbreak and the echo of the person I thought I knew best. I didn't answer my phone all day. Not Raisin, not anyone. The screen stayed dark, silent, mocking me. Each notification I ignored felt like a small victory over the world. Though the victory was hollowed out by evening, Raisin appeared at my door. "Seriously, you're going to hide from everyone forever?" he asked, hands stuffed in his jacket pockets. "I'm fine," I mumbled, not even looking at him. "Yeah, right," he muttered, crouching to sit on the edge of my bed. "You've been holed up here for 2 days. Man, 2 days. You can't eat like a normal person, and I'm pretty sure the floor has accepted you as its permanent resident." I gave a hollow laugh. "I'm surviving." "That's enough." "Surviving?" Raisin's voice went sharp. "Is that what you call staring at 4 walls, muttering her name, and refusing to see the sun? Because it looks like you're dying inside." "I'm not ready," I admitted finally, my voice barely above a whisper. "How do you even move on from someone who promised forever?" Raisin sighed. "You don't, not all at once. You move 1 day at a time. Right now, 1 hour at a time." I shook my head. I trusted her, Raisin, everything. I believed in us, and now, she's gone. Just gone. "I know," he said softly, placing a hand on my shoulder. "I get it. But you can't disappear into this hole forever. Life's still happening." I stared at him, my chest tightening. She lied, Raisin, I think. I think she was never really honest with me. "What makes you say that?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. I hesitated, then pulled out my phone. I found messages on her old account. Short, secretive messages. Nothing concrete, but it felt like she was someone else entirely when I wasn't around. Raisin leaned back, frowning. "And you're sure you want to read them?" "I need to know," I said, my fingers trembling as I scrolled. There were dates, times, little words like "can't wait to see you" and "it's complicated." I didn't understand, but my stomach turned. "You see," I whispered, almost to myself. "She lied to me. How could she do this and smile at me every day? Pretend like nothing was wrong?" Raisin rubbed my back. "People hide things for all sorts of reasons. Doesn't mean you deserved it. And it doesn't mean you can't come back from this." I shook my head violently. "No, you don't understand. She wasn't just hiding stuff, she was... I don't even know who she really is." "Maybe she didn't know herself either," he suggested cautiously. "People make mistakes. Maybe she got scared." "Maybe..." I cut him off. "Scared, Raisin? We were supposed to get married." And then my voice cracked, and I buried my face in my hands. Raisin didn't say anything for a long moment. Just waited. "Look," he said finally, "you can let this destroy you, or you can start figuring out what comes next. You don't have to forgive her or forget her, but hiding in here isn't helping." "I can't even think straight," I admitted. "Everywhere I look, I see her. In the coffee cup she liked, in the couch she sat on, in everything." Raisin nodded, understanding. "That's okay. You feel it because it's real. But there's more out there than her, even if you can't see it yet." I leaned back, exhausted. I keep replaying everything. That night before she left. The way she laughed, the way she held my hand. Did she ever really feel it, or was it all fake? "I don't know," Raisin said softly. "And you might never know. But you can't live your life trying to decode her every move. You have to start living for you." I bit my lip, tears stinging. "And what about the things I saw? Strange calls, messages I didn't notice before. Should I ignore that too?" "No," he said firmly. "Notice it. Learn from it. But don't let it poison you. Use it to understand, not to ruin yourself." I nodded, though my mind was spinning. I thought love was supposed to be simple, just us. Now I feel like I'm trapped in a nightmare. "You're not trapped," Raisin said. "You're hurt. Pain feels like a trap, but it's not permanent. You'll wake up from this, I promise." I leaned back against the wall, feeling the weight of his words, half believing them. I don't know who she is anymore, or who I am without her." "You'll find out," he said quietly, giving my shoulder one last squeeze before standing. But hiding here won't tell you anything. Tomorrow, try to see the sun. Maybe even get some coffee outside. I'll be there if you need me. I don't know if I can, I whispered. You can, he said, smiling faintly. You have to, and I'll make sure you do. After he left, I sat alone, staring at the empty walls. My phone still clutched in my hand. Messages, missed calls, secrets, they were all pieces of a puzzle I didn't want to solve yet. I felt the first stirrings of anger, mixed with heartbreak. Maybe she hadn't been entirely honest. Maybe there was more beneath the surface. And maybe I would find out one day. I didn't mean to see it. I swear I didn't. But curiosity, or maybe it was fate, led me to her social media accounts she'd forgotten to log out of on my laptop. At first, I just wanted closure, a final look at memories. Then I saw him. Who the hell is this? I muttered, scrolling through messages that made my stomach twist. The man she'd been sending photos, texts, and plans to was someone rich, influential, someone who promised her everything I had thought I gave her. Attention, security, respect. I felt my hands clench into fists. How could she? I whispered. How could she lie to me every day? Raisin's voice echoed in my mind. Don't let this destroy you. Don't let it consume you. I shook my head. Consume me. I'm barely holding it together. But I can't let it go. Not like this. I opened another message. Meet me tonight. I've arranged something special. I laughed bitterly. A hollow, shaking laugh. Special? For me? No. For him. She left me for him. Raisin called me that night. You're quiet. What's going on? I didn't answer immediately. Found something? What kind of something? His tone was cautious, patient. A secret. An affair, I said slowly, my voice hardening with every word. She's been with him. Rich, powerful, everything she wanted, everything she thought I couldn't give. Shit, he muttered. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. Of course you didn't, I snapped, though my voice betrayed more shock than anger. Nobody knew. Not even me. You okay? Raisin asked gently. Or, are you thinking what I think you're thinking?
I'm thinking she deserves to pay for this, I said, voice low, trembling. I can't just forget it. Not after this. Not after everything. Revenge, huh? He said carefully. Look, I get it. I really do. But don't let it control you. Don't let it ruin you while she's out there living her life. She lied, I said, my voice almost a growl. Every smile, every promise, a lie. And now he's everything I was supposed to be for her. He has it all, and I'm left with nothing. Nothing. Raisin's voice was firm. You're alive. You're strong. You have brains, heart, the kind of things money can't buy. Don't throw that away chasing anger. I laughed bitterly again. Strong. I feel weak. Humiliated. Stupid for ever trusting her. I get it, he said softly. But anger can be a tool, too. You can use this. Don't just stew, do something that matters. Build yourself up. Not just for revenge, but for you. I sat back, gripping the edge of the sofa. His words hit me, slowly sinking in. You mean, focus on myself? Yes, he said, a hint of a smile in his voice. Don't waste your life on what she has. Use this. Grow. Get stronger. Then, if karma wants to pay a visit, it will. I stared at the laptop screen again, her smiling face in one of the photos, leaning close to him. My chest tightened. I wanted to be the one for her, I muttered. I gave everything, and she threw it away. Just, threw it away. Then give it to yourself, Raisin said. Invest in you. Make her wonder what she lost. Make her regret, not you. I felt a surge of something, anger mixed with resolve. Not hatred, not blind revenge. Something sharper. Something disciplined. You're right, I whispered. I can't stay broken. I won't. I'll come back stronger. Smarter. Better than she ever imagined. Good, Raisin said. I'll hold you to that. But promise me, you won't do anything stupid. I promise, I said, though a small part of me still simmered with fire. I'll rise. I won't let her ruin me. Not now. Not ever. Then start planning, he said. Small steps. One at a time. I hung up and sat in silence, staring at the dark screen. Every text, every photo, every lie, I let it sink in, let it fuel something in me. I could feel a shift happening. Anger turning into focus. Betrayal turning into strategy. Pain turning into determination. I whispered to myself, barely audible, I'll return. Richer. Stronger. And when I do, she'll regret everything. And in that moment, the first spark of transformation ignited. I wasn't the same naive fool who had believed in forever. I was someone new. Someone who would rise from this ruin stronger than ever. I booked the earliest flight out of the city, carrying nothing but a small suitcase and the weight of betrayal. Amara's face lingered in my mind, sharp and mocking, but I pushed it down. I wasn't running from her, I was running to myself. Raisin was the only one I told before leaving. Promise me you'll stay focused, he said, holding my shoulder at the airport. Don't let anger blind you. I won't, I said, though my voice quivered. I need to build something for me. Something she can't touch. He smirked faintly. Good. Go rise from those ashes, my friend. Just, stay alive while doing it. The city felt smaller when I left it behind, and yet the world felt wider, filled with possibility. I rented a small apartment, got a modest job, and started observing everything like a chessboard. Money was tight, food was bland, and every step felt like walking through fire, but I kept moving. One night, sitting in a near-empty cafe, a man approached me. You're looking at the wrong angle, he said, sliding into the seat across from me. You want to succeed, but you're too reactive. Too emotional. I blinked, taken aback. Who are you? Sammy, he said, calm, eyes sharp. I've been watching you flounder. You have potential, but you need guidance. And I don't work with amateurs long. You in? I stared at him. Guidance? You don't even know me. I know enough, he said, leaning back. You've got brains, but no strategy. You've been running on instinct. That won't get you far. If you want revenge, closure, whatever you call it, you need a plan. You want results, or you want to suffer? I want results, I said quietly, my hands tightening around my coffee cup. I want to be stronger. Smarter. He smiled faintly. Good. Then we start tomorrow. Business, strategy, discipline. I'll push you. You'll fail, but you'll learn. You understand that? I understand, I said. I won't waste this. He nodded, standing. Then see you bright and early. That night, I couldn't sleep. My apartment felt empty, cold. But for the first time since her, I felt purpose. Rage and heartbreak had transformed into something useful, fuel. The next morning, Sammy didn't waste time. You're too slow, too hesitant, he said, watching me try to draft a plan for a small business idea. You hesitate because of fear. Fear of failing, fear of losing, fear of not being enough. Cut it out. Decide, act, adjust. That's how people who matter survive. I swallowed, nodding. I can do that. Good, he said, handing me a folder. This is your first project. Start. Fail fast if you must, but don't stop moving. You learn by doing, not thinking too much. Lena appeared later that week, introduced by Sammy. You've got fire, she said softly, smiling at me in the quiet of my apartment. But you're carrying too much. Don't let anger become your only companion. I can't forget, I said, staring at my hands. She ruined everything. How do I stop thinking about her? You don't, she said, shaking her head. You honor what happened, then redirect it. Channel that energy. Let it push you forward, not hold you back. You're alive. That's your advantage. I stared at her, surprised. You really believe that? I do, she said simply. You've got potential. I've seen it. You just need balance. With Sammy and Lena guiding me, I began the slow climb. I made mistakes. I lost money on ideas that seemed brilliant at first. I argued with suppliers, misread trends, stumbled through contracts. But with each failure, Sammy pushed me harder, and Lena reminded me why I was doing this, not just for revenge, but for myself. One evening, after a long day of planning and correcting mistakes, I sank into my chair. I don't know if I'm good enough, I whispered. I feel like I'm still broken. Lena knelt beside me, placing a hand on my arm. Broken isn't permanent. You're rebuilding. That takes time, patience, and courage. And you've got all three. You just don't realize it yet. I nodded, swallowing hard. I want her to regret leaving me. I want to show her she made a mistake. But I don't want to lose myself in it. You won't, she said softly. Because you're learning to fight for yourself, not just against her. That's what matters. Sammy's voice echoed from earlier in my memory, decide, act, adjust. I thought about her, Amara, and the life I thought I had, now gone. I felt the cold spark of determination ignite again. I wouldn't just survive, I would rise. Every setback, every sleepless night, every misstep would make me sharper, smarter. Weeks passed, and slowly, the balance began to shift. My confidence grew. I negotiated better deals, earned my first real profits, and learned to trust my instincts without letting anger rule them. I started planning long-term goals, mapping out a future that had nothing to do with her, but everything to do with me. One night, as I walked home through a quiet street, I whispered to the empty air, I'm coming back stronger. Not just for me, but for her to see. I'll rise from these ashes, and when I do, she'll realize what she threw away. I clenched my fists, feeling the power of my own resolve. Rage had turned into discipline, heartbreak into strategy. The city that once seemed small and suffocating now felt like a board where I could move my pieces wisely, carefully, purposefully. And I would. I stepped off the train and took a deep breath. The city smelled the same, coffee, asphalt, rain, but it felt different. I felt different. I wasn't the broken fool who had left months ago. I was sharper, smarter, and, most importantly, in control. Raisin's voice echoed in my head, don't let anger blind you. Let it guide you. I walked through the streets, watching the familiar shops and cafes, and then I saw her. Amara. She looked the same, hair perfectly styled, that effortless smile, but there was something off. A stiffness in her posture, a quick glance around like she was hiding something. I caught her eye. Her smile faltered. Oh, hi, she said, voice slightly too high, too controlled. Hi, I said, calm, letting her squirm in my gaze. It's been a while. Yes, she said, forcing the word. You look different. Richer, I said casually, letting the word hang in the air. Her eyes widened slightly. Richer? She asked, laughing nervously. Well. I mean, good for you. I nodded, letting the conversation pause just long enough. I've been busy. Her fingers fiddled with her purse strap. I noticed it trembling. Busy, yes. I've been adjusting. I tilted my head, observing her carefully. Adjusting? She laughed, but it sounded forced. Life changes. You know. I smiled faintly. Seems like some changes hit harder than others. Her lips tightened. What do you mean? I didn't answer. Instead, I let my eyes wander over her apartment building, her luxury car parked outside, the small crowd of friends waiting for her. From the outside, everything seemed perfect, but I saw the cracks. She depended on him, the man she betrayed me for. She was smiling, laughing, pretending, but the facade was fragile. A friend of hers came over. Amara. Oh my God, is that? I stepped back slightly, letting her friends gasp do the work. Yes, she said, voice shaky, this is someone from the past. I smiled faintly, inwardly amused. The past sometimes comes back stronger than people expect, I said. Her friend's eyes flicked to me, then to her. Wait, did she leave someone for him? Amara's smile faltered. It's complicated, she muttered. I nodded, feigning understanding. Life is full of complications. Some we choose, some we have imposed upon us. Her friend frowned, glancing between us. I didn't know. I mean. I thought. I shook my head, smiling faintly. It's all right. People think what they want to think. Truth is, often inconvenient. Amara swallowed, her confidence slipping. She was trying to act like everything was fine, but the tension in her shoulders, the quick movements of her hands, the way she avoided my gaze, all of it betrayed her. I should go, she said abruptly, stepping back. Of course, I said softly, letting her move. You have things to manage. She gave a quick nod and left, hurrying past her friends, leaving the small crowd whispering. I stayed behind, letting them wonder, letting them see that I had returned, not broken, not defeated. I had returned stronger. Raisin called me as I walked away. Well, he asked. She's faltering, I said quietly, a small smile forming. She's pretending to be fine, but it's brittle. The man she depends on, she's chained to him. And she knows it. Good, he said. That's the first taste of karma. Don't let it make you arrogant, though. Stay sharp. I will, I said. I'm observing. Learning. This isn't just about her. It's about me now. Later, I ran into a few people from the city, the ones who had once whispered about Amara and me, the ones who had judged without knowing. Is that him? One of them asked, nodding toward me. I smiled faintly. It is. Long time no see. You've changed, another said, astonished. Yes, I said, letting the word settle. I've been busy. They didn't know the half of it. All the nights of struggle, the mistakes, the lessons. All the planning, all the small victories that had built this me. I walked through the city streets, feeling the power shift with every step. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was in control. I had the advantage now, and every glance from Amara, every whispered comment from her friends, confirmed it. She had chosen wrong. She had betrayed me. And now she was starting to feel the first tremors of regret. I whispered to myself, barely audible, this is only the beginning. The game has changed. And I will win. The city buzzed around me, unaware that I had returned, not the same man who had left. Stronger. Smarter. Focused. Ready. And I would let every small crack in her perfect life remind her what she had lost. I spotted her across the ballroom before anyone else did. Amara, in a shimmering black dress, laughing a little too loudly, moving through the crowd like she owned the night. She didn't see me yet. Raisin's hand brushed my shoulder. You sure about this? He asked, voice low. I'm sure, I said, keeping my tone calm. I'm not here to yell or scream. I'm here to show her, she didn't win. Sammy nodded, arms crossed. Remember what we practiced. Control. Observation. Let them feel it without you losing yourself. I exhaled, steadying myself. I can do this. Lena gave my arm a light squeeze. You're ready. Just, trust yourself. I moved through the crowd, every step calculated, every smile controlled. She finally noticed me. Her eyes widened. Oh, hi, she said, voice faltering. Her friend stepped back, sensing tension. Hi, Amara, I said, smiling faintly. I didn't expect to see you here tonight. You look, well, she said, searching my face for a hint of weakness. You're different. I've been busy, I said casually. Building things. Learning things. Growing. Her lips pressed into a thin line. That's good. Really good. I tilted my head, letting my eyes scan her face. You look happy. She blinked, then smiled tightly. I am. Things are fine. Fine. I asked softly. I saw the photos, the posts. He's taken care of you, hasn't he? Her hand clenched around her clutch. What are you talking about? I smiled, calm, letting her unease settle. Oh, nothing. Just. I couldn't help but notice. Life has a way of rearranging priorities, doesn't it? She swallowed, avoiding my gaze. Yes, sometimes. I leaned slightly closer, voice soft but deliberate. Funny, isn't it? How someone can promise forever, smile, laugh, hold your hand, and then, disappear for someone else. Her breath caught. She glanced around, eyes flicking to the crowd as though anyone could save her. I didn't mean. I held up a hand, letting her words die in the air. I know you didn't. That's the thing about truth, it doesn't need words. People just see it. Feel it. She bit her lip, glancing down. Her arrogance, her charm, her carefully constructed image, it was all crumbling in subtle, invisible ways. I could see the cracks. You look amazing, she said finally, voice barely audible. I didn't know you'd come back like this. I always intended to, I said, letting a small smile play on my lips. I wanted to be better. Stronger. Smarter. And I am. All thanks to, learning from what I lost. Her eyes widened slightly, guilt creeping in. She opened her mouth, but no words came. Do you ever think about the past? I asked, voice soft. About promises, trust, the things people say they'll never break. She looked down, shoulders tightening. I do. Sometimes. Sometimes. I repeated, letting the single word hang. Funny, isn't it? How sometimes turns into never, and never turns into regret. Her lips trembled. I didn't. You didn't, I said, nodding. And that's the point. People see the consequences in their own way. You made your choice, Amara. I made mine. She swallowed, eyes darting around the room. I thought I'd. I mean, it seemed, right at the time. I nodded slowly, keeping my expression calm. It seemed right. Until it wasn't. Until life reminded you that choices have weight. Her eyes met mine briefly, filled with something that resembled fear, or maybe shame. I didn't think you'd come back, like this. I came back, I said, voice even. Not for you. Not for him. For me. To show that betrayal doesn't have to destroy someone. And to show that growth isn't stopped by heartbreak. Her breath caught, and I could see the truth in her eyes. Her carefully crafted world was fragile. I. You don't need to say anything, I said, stepping back slightly. The world sees it anyway. And you will learn it soon enough. She nodded, unable to speak, the laughter and chatter around us sounding distant, hollow. Her friends exchanged uneasy glances, noticing the tension, sensing that something unseen had shifted. Raisin appeared quietly beside me, whispering, "You did well. She's feeling it. But don't let it go too far. Control, remember." "I know," I whispered back. "I'm done letting anger lead. This is closure, not chaos." Sammy's voice echoed in my memory, "Decide, act, adjust." I'd acted with precision, exposing the truth without shouting it. I'd adjusted to the situation, controlled my emotions. And the weight of it all, her shame, her hesitation, the subtle crumble of her world, was enough. Lena nudged my arm lightly. "You're glowing," she said softly. "It's not just revenge, it's power. You've earned it." I exhaled, letting the tension release. It feels right. Not bitter. Not cruel. Just final. Amara's gaze met mine one last time, fleeting, fragile. I could see the realization in her eyes, the understanding that she had underestimated me, that her choices had consequences. And I didn't need to say a word. The truth had spoken louder than any confrontation could. As I turned and walked away, the room's noise returned, but I moved through it differently now. Confident. Calculating. Still human, still feeling, but no longer shackled by her choices or my past mistakes. I whispered to myself as I exited, "This is only the beginning. I've regained control, and she will see it. In time, she will feel what she created. And I will be free." I heard about her first from a mutual contact. "Amara's been struggling," the voice said cautiously. "Projects falling through, people turning away. She's not handling things well." I exhaled slowly, a mix of satisfaction and unease twisting inside me. "I see," I murmured. Raisin raised an eyebrow. "You okay with hearing that?" "I don't know," I admitted. Part of me wants to celebrate, part of me wonders if I've gone too far. "You haven't," he said firmly. "You've built yourself. What she's experiencing is the result of her choices, not yours." Lena's voice was softer, gentle. "Sometimes the hardest part of victory is seeing the other side fall. But you can't let it poison you. You've changed for yourself, not for her." I nodded, staring out the window at the city lights. "I know. But seeing her. I feel the weight of all those nights I obsessed over revenge. Did I cross a line?" Sammy's words came back to me, control, observation, precision. "You didn't cross a line," he said quietly, appearing beside me. "You acted with awareness. You didn't destroy her, you let her face reality. That's different from revenge for revenge's sake." I thought about the emails, the meetings, the subtle reminders she'd receive without me ever lifting a hand. The whispers, the doubts growing around her, the cracks in her relationships, it was all natural consequence. Karma, maybe. Or just life catching up. And me? I asked, my voice low. What about the cost to me? I obsessed for so long. I let anger drive me, even as I learned to grow. Lena touched my arm. That's the price of lessons, not mistakes. You've endured, reflected, and emerged wiser. Obsession can teach as much as it can harm, if you survive it. I nodded slowly. I see it now. I've built myself in ways I never could have if she hadn't left. But it hurt, God, it hurt. And part of me part of me wanted her to hurt too. And part of you still does, Raisin said softly. But you're choosing differently. That's the growth. I smiled faintly, thinking back to the confrontation at the gala. I had exposed her without saying it outright. I had shown her what she lost, not out of cruelty, but through my own presence, my success, my calm. She had felt the weight of her choices, finally. She's alone now, I said. Her career is faltering, relationships crumbling, and she's realizing what she lost. I wonder if she understands, truly understands. She will, Sammy said quietly. People who make choices like hers always realize eventually. It's just a matter of time. I rubbed my temples. And I've learned that victory isn't just seeing her falter. It's this. This moment of quiet, knowing I've grown, I've transformed. I don't need her misery to validate me. Lena smiled. Exactly. You've built your life. You've reclaimed your power. That's the real victory. I leaned back, letting the silence settle. Part of me ached remembering what I had lost, the trust, the love, the life I thought I had with her. But another part of me was calm, steady. Stronger. Free. I still think about her sometimes, I admitted. I imagine her realizing the weight of her choices. But it's less painful now. Less consuming. I've learned to let it exist without letting it rule me. That's maturity, Raisin said, nodding. You're not the same person she left behind. You're wiser, more self-aware. That's worth more than any revenge. I smiled faintly, the first time in months feeling unburdened. It is. It really is. I see now that my growth, my transformation, it doesn't need her downfall to exist. I am enough. I've learned to be enough for me. And that's the message, Lena said softly. You've faced pain, betrayal, loss, and you've chosen to become stronger, not bitter. That's what matters. Karma, consequences, they're secondary. Your life, your choices, that's the true measure. I nodded, letting her words sink in. I understand now. I've paid my dues in heartbreak, in anger, in obsession. And now I can step forward without resentment, without needing to punish her to feel whole. Raisin clapped me lightly on the shoulder. That's the man I know. You've earned this peace. I smiled, truly, fully, for the first time in a long while. Peace, yes. That's what I've been seeking all along. Not revenge, not bitterness. Just growth. Transformation. Sammy's voice carried a note of pride. And it suits you. You've learned to turn pain into strategy, loss into strength. That's rare. I exhaled, letting it all go, the obsession, the sleepless nights, the moments of weakness. I looked at the city lights beyond the window and whispered softly, I've survived. I've changed. And that is enough. Lena leaned closer. It's more than enough. It's proof that life can be harsh, but it can also teach resilience. You've proven that. I nodded again, feeling the weight lift from my chest. My journey wasn't over, but the shadow of betrayal no longer controlled me. Victory, I realized, wasn't about her falling, it was about me rising. And in that realization, I finally found the quiet satisfaction I had been chasing all along. I leaned back on the balcony, watching the city lights shimmer like scattered stars. The air was cool, calm, and for the first time in months, my chest felt light. I heard Lena's laughter behind me, soft and genuine, and it pulled a smile from me that wasn't forced. You're quiet tonight, she said, leaning on the railing beside me. Something on your mind? I shrugged, smiling faintly. Just thinking about how far I've come. About everything I've been through. It's strange. The pain, the betrayal, and now this. Lena's eyes softened. And now this? This, I said, gesturing to the skyline, to the warmth of her presence beside me, to the peace I'd finally earned. Life. Growth. Calm. I survived everything, Lena. I really did. She smiled. You did. And you did it without losing yourself. That's rare. Most people would have been consumed by anger or bitterness. I almost was, I admitted. I wanted her, Amara, to feel what she put me through. But somewhere along the way, I realized it wasn't about her anymore. It was about me. About becoming someone stronger, better. Someone I could be proud of. Lena nudged my arm lightly. And you are. I've seen it. You've transformed, not just in success, but in how you carry yourself. Calm, confident, unshaken. I chuckled softly. Funny, isn't it? The betrayal that once crushed me, now it's the foundation of who I've become. I was broken, yes. But from those pieces, I built this. You, she said, smiling. You built yourself. And you're not alone anymore. You have people who care, who see you. I looked at her, truly looked, and for the first time, I felt a different pull, a warmth, a certainty that wasn't fleeting. You've been, more than a friend through all this. I don't know if I could have done it without you. She tilted her head, quiet for a moment. You didn't need me to fix you. You did the hard work yourself. I was just, here. And that means everything, I said softly. More than you know. I thought of Amara. Of the nights I had replayed her betrayal, the rage I had almost let consume me. I saw her again recently, I said, voice low. She looked fragile. Regret in her eyes. She's realizing what she lost, finally. And yet, it's not for me to punish. It's life teaching her, naturally. Lena nodded. Exactly. That's what makes your journey real. You've moved past needing her to feel pain. You've claimed your own life, your own happiness. I exhaled, letting the weight of months lift. I used to think victory meant making her suffer. Now I know, real victory is freedom. Peace. Control over myself, not over her. Raisin called me later, his voice carrying his usual warmth. You're finally letting it go, huh? I am, I said, smiling. I've rebuilt everything, myself, my life, my perspective. I can finally see clearly. No obsession, no bitterness. Just, clarity. And, he asked, teasing slightly. Are you happy? I am, I said firmly, feeling it in my chest. For the first time in a long time. Really happy. Sammy joined our call, calm and approving. That's growth. You endured pain, absorbed lessons, and emerged stronger. You've balanced ambition with morality, strength with empathy. That's rare. That's the kind of person who lasts. I nodded, thinking of the countless nights of struggle, of planning, failing, learning, growing. It feels satisfying. Bittersweet, maybe, but right. I lost a lot, yes. But I gained more. Myself. Freedom. People who matter. Lena's voice came softly through the phone, teasing, gentle. And someone who's seen your journey, stood by you, and, maybe more. I smiled, feeling her presence even when not in the same room. Yes. Someone who's real. Someone who stayed. Not because of what I had before, but because of what I became. Because of me. And that, Lena said, quietly, is more than she'll ever understand. I chuckled softly. No. It isn't. And I don't need her to. Her regret is hers. My peace is mine. I survived, I grew, and the past no longer controls me. The city stretched before me, lights blinking like distant stars, quiet and endless. I felt the weight of all that I had endured melt away, replaced by strength, confidence, and the quiet thrill of knowing I had emerged whole. I whispered to the night, softly, without bitterness, I am free. I am alive. I am myself. And that is enough. Lena squeezed my hand gently, smiling, and I returned the gesture, feeling it for the first time fully, completely. The journey had been long. Painful. Filled with betrayal, heartbreak, and nights I thought I'd never survive. But now, looking out at the city, feeling her hand in mine, I knew this, the growth, the love, the calm, was the reward worth everything. I had faced the past. I had faced myself. And now, finally, I could move forward.